I never should have taken that trip. Looking back, every single sign was screaming at me not to go. But when your best friend calls you up and says he's got access to a private yacht and wants to cruise through the Caribbean, you don't say no. It was me, Jason, and two other guys, Matt and Eric. We set sail from Miami, heading toward the Bahamas. The weather was perfect, the drinks were flowing, and the sun felt like it was blessing our skin. None of us thought twice when we passed into the Bermuda Triangle. We even joked about it. That was our first mistake. Around midnight, Jason shook me awake. "Dude, you gotta see this." His voice was low, almost shaking. I rubbed my eyes and followed him onto the deck. The ocean was glowing. Not in the way that plankton sometimes make the water shimmer at night. This was something else. The waves pulsed with a deep blue light, like the whole sea was alive. I turned to Jason, but before I could ask him what the hell was going on, we heard Matt scream from below deck. We bolted down the steps and found him pressed against the wall, his face pale as a ghost. "There's someone in the water," he whispered. Eric was looking out the tiny porthole. "Dude, no way." I hesitated, then forced myself to look. At first, all I saw was the glowing ocean. Then my stomach dropped. There was a face staring back at me, not floating, not struggling, just watching. Pale eyes, hollow and sunken, peered through the glass like they had been waiting for us. And then, it smiled. The yacht lurched suddenly, knocking all of us off balance. Jason fell hard against the cabinet, cursing as the boat tilted to one side. What the hell was that? We scrambled back onto the deck, gripping the railings as the yacht rocked violently. The wind howled out of nowhere, and the glowing water churned beneath us. Then the whispers started. Low voices, speaking in a language none of us understood, rising and falling like a tide, surrounding us. I swear I felt fingers brush against my arms, my legs, like something was reaching up from the water, trying to pull me in. Eric was losing it. He grabbed one of the emergency flares and fired it into the sky. For a split second, the entire deck lit up in a red glow, and that's when we saw them. Figures rising from the water, human-like, but wrong. Their limbs were too long, their eyes too wide, their mouths stretched into grins that looked like they'd been carved into their faces. Then they started to climb onto the yacht. We ran. Jason and Matt grabbed whatever they could, oars, fishing poles, anything to keep them away. Eric was screaming. I don't even remember grabbing the radio, but I did, shouting into the receiver, "Mayday! Mayday! We need help! We're in the Bermuda Triangle and—" Then the line went dead. Everything stopped. The whispers, the rocking, the glowing. I turned back and they were gone. No figures, no glowing water, just the dark, empty ocean stretching for miles. The yacht drifted silently until morning. A cargo ship found us, abandoned and rattled, floating aimlessly near the Bahamas. We never spoke about it again, not even among ourselves. But Jason never went near the water again. Matt stopped sailing. And Eric disappeared 3 months later. They found his boat, completely intact, floating just outside the Bermuda Triangle. No sign of him anywhere. But the weirdest part? The distress call they found on his radio. It was my voice. It was my